Hello and good evening, everybody. I see that I'm still a little bit in the dark, so let me rectify that real quick. Let's see. We have office somewhere. There we have it. Nice to spice up a little bit, right? So there we are. Let's do as well. So I'm testing out multi-streaming and I'm using StreamYard as well. It's on my secondary screen. So this is the StreamYard, and I'm just checking out if it works. I had an LTD for a long time ago. Now I'm using Facebook, Twitch, and X as stream. I also would like to use LinkedIn, but there are some restrictions on those. So let's see how this works. If you're watching on another platform, let me know. Next time I will set up something. Let me check this out if this works. Sending messages. Does look it works on Twitch, so let's see what happens, right? It doesn't really matter. So it's very hot in here. I just put up a thermometer, a thing to measure the temperature, and as you can see, 30 degrees Celsius, so it's fairly hot in here. But it's okay. We'll manage. We will survive, as far as I know. So it will be fine. Let's see. I think the levels are okay and everything is working just as expected, so that's fine. Put this one here. We can see it as well if needed. Side doesn't need to be this big. A little bit finicky, but hey, it's what it is, right? So yeah, I hope it isn't as hot for you all. It would be nicer. I have big claws of drinks. So let's get to the things I would like to discuss today. And one of those things are the filtering and then the styling being gone suddenly. Need to slightly tilt this a little bit. Because last week we suddenly saw that the filtering was changing the design, and that's not as intended, I hope. But it turns out that it is as intended. And the reason being that you need what's it called? You need themes that support the filtering. Now, I've tried different kind of themes just to try out if something did or did not work, and it looks like only Astra works and will keep the layout that we have defined in the JetEngine listings. But if you use something else, it doesn't work at all, which is a little bit unintuitive, and I'm afraid also a little bit bad, because none of the block themes are supported as of right now. So if we look at using Astra, you see that the design is kept the same. And let's go back, and you pick Italy, the design is still the same. We pick Eindhoven, the city where I'm living in, and you will see that the design is still the same, using the Astra theme. So if you're using JetEngine, you need to be aware that some themes are supported and others are not. And I didn't know that before. So I hope this will help you out. So now you know. I also would like to pull up a a ticket where they shared a screenshot. Let's see. So I asked the CrocoBlock support team if they could help me out, and they sent me this screenshot via Lightshot. And what it shows, let's zoom in a little, is that these are all the filter possibilities that are supported. So Elementor is supported, JetEngine itself, and JetWoo and WooCommerce and those kind of things. So I asked them is Gutenberg query loop, is that one supported and isn't supported, which feels a little bit counterintuitive to their marketing page, where they have a Gutenberg blocks right on their website. So I assume that everything within Gutenberg blocks would be able to filter, but that's not the case. So you need to use JetEngine in that case, and then the listings. And to use the JetEngine and listings in the right way, you need to have the what's called the right theme for that. And the right theme that are supported was also in the support ticket. So let me pull that one up. Let's see. Now, I have to say they were very kind, and they helped resolve the beginner kind of things, because apparently it's something I could have known or should have known. So in here it states what themes are compatible with CrocoBlock. So there needs to be a compatible theme, which isn't a full site editing theme. And this case it is Kava. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's from from CrocoBlock themselves. You also have Elementor Hello theme, Ocean WP, Astra, Bloxy, and Generate Press. And if I remember correctly, those are all classic themes, as they are called now. So yeah, I hope that in the future something like I don't think they will support Greenshift right out of the gate, because that's just too little of a user base. But something like Spectra, the Spectra theme, that would make sense from a business perspective to at least have them work with JetEngine. But yeah, it's a shame that the filters don't work out right out of the gate, as the advertising could be interpreted by people that are visiting this page, especially when you see that you can buy these Jet Smart filters on its own, and it says that it's compatible with Elementor, Gutenberg, and Bricks. But it doesn't state what the caveats are, and there are big caveats because the query loop can't be used. So that's a really letdown for me, actually. But yeah, we need to live with it, that this is not fully integrated. And as you might have noticed from the live streams past couple of weeks, I'm going to look into Bricks for the next couple of months, because I'm very interested in Bricks as well. Just seeing how it works. So we'll be covering some live stream building things with Bricks, and the first thing is looking at and comparing the look and feel of Elementor, because in the company that I'm working at, I'm using Elementor, and I would like to see how it will compare against Elementor. Is it, some people say it's very developer focused. Is it really developer focused? I want to try out. So we're going to explore that in the next couple of weeks. And Bricks Builder has a great adaptability by a large user base and also by third party. So that's why I think it's really interesting, actually. Yeah, and it's this website. So if you also would like to look at this in the future and see how I build things from a beginner Bricks user to a more experienced one, hopefully at the end of at least I think 6 months, that you will notice the difference in how I create things, I hope. I've seen a lot of Kevin Geary stuff, so I know some things, and also looked a lot about WP Tots tutorials for Bricks. I haven't bought the Dave Foy Bricks tutorial because I think I will manage to get the Bricks in very well. But yeah, we have to see. See how does it all work. I've never used the multi-streaming, so I'm very curious if it works as I expect it does. doesn't look like it. You can view on a website, a web page, but if you click on it, it doesn't. It isn't there. So I wonder how it works. But let's see. It should work. So bricks will be the next builder that I will be exploring. The reason being, I think Greenshift is a great plugin, is also a great tool, and especially for the value it adds for the price, right? If you look at the pricing for the all-in-one is $59 a year. I mean, compare that to bricks. Let's hit get bricks. It's $79 a year. But with bricks, it's only the builder, right? You have a lot of options for that, but most of these options are also available in Greenshift. And what Greenshift also adds is the animation add-on, which allows you to create animations within Greenshift with ease. I say with ease, it's not the most user-intuitive interface, but it gets you along pretty nicely. And as you can see, there's also a lifetime deal for this one. And if you go for unlimited version, you pay $399, while this one is $599. So you get basically the same things. Maybe some things aren't there, but here you get also an ACPT license, and the animation is also something different. Also, the chart add-on and the SEO and marketing add-ons is also different and helps you create even better search engine optimization and marketing kind of things. So Greenshift has a great pricing. Only the downside in this moment in time is the adaptation of full site editing and the lack of integration with some things. Now, I have worked a lot with the Greenshift team as well. Especially Igor is the go-to guy that I can ask for help, and he's very active in this Facebook group as well, which is very nice. You can ask all kinds of questions, and he will answer them if needed. Also really helps out with some basic questions that people couldn't understand from documentation or seeing the website. And yeah, it's really powerful. It allows you to do a lot of things. Even my own website runs on see this one runs on Greenshift, and it's just amazing if you ask me. But there's sometimes bugs that appear, and it makes me a little bit sad sometimes seeing that those things happen, but those things can happen. And I'm actually very curious about bricks and how well it works. So yeah, going to explore that in the future. But for now, we're going to fix what is broken, and that is this crazy kind of thing from ProGoplug and JetEngine, that the filters just don't work. And it's really insane. I can't use the native filters. I can't use the JetEngine listings properly. So it means that I only use JetEngine for the custom post types, and even then it's not complete. I mean, I'm afraid that I can't use the maps listings within Greenshift. So why do I need JetEngine if most of the things are not supported by other tools, right? It doesn't make any sense. So maybe in the future I will switch to using ACPT, because it basically does the same thing, and I have a lifetime license for this one as well. So yeah, I'm wondering in how much sense it makes to use such a powerful tool for a lot of things that I can't use. So I guess I will be leaving that one behind pretty soon. But for now, let's continue with the build. So what we are going to do today is create the is creating the job listings page. I will switch my cam real quick to open up the Figma file. Let's make sure that I don't open any lines, websites immediately. Ooh. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I'm really sweating. It's so hot. And I can't, maybe I can open my window. Please hold on. We live in a nice place where the kids can play outside, so that's really nice, but and still on next launch. So we're going to build out this this section with the decryption in there as well, instead of description. Change that real quick. And then we have everything from the job listings as well in place. So let's do that. So to do that, we need to edit our site. We don't need to edit the page because that's for just for the contents, but we need to edit the site. By the way, this is the page we're going to create. I saw that I didn't share my screen. I'm sorry. So this is what we are going to recreate. I will be putting that one on the one side and then the website on the other side. So there we go. We would like to create a new template for careers, and it will be for single item careers. Then you could say if it needs to be for all careers or specific career item. We want it for all careers. And you can choose a specific template, but I don't think we need one because we are going with this kind of design. So it's a 2-column layout. So let's add a row in here and let's add 2 columns. Now we can change the size, the first column, and perhaps we can just use a preset for now. And the first one will be the title, because if I remember correctly, the title is the title of the position. So we add in a title, called a heading, of course. And then we need to load in our dynamic data, post data. We want to select the current one, the current careers. And we want to have title in there. Now, as you can see, the text that was previously in there is still in there. And I don't like that, so we can scroll down, and here in content, you can change the information as well. So now we have the data we would like to have. So this one, and this is the careers title. And this should be an H1 on this page. So in this case, instead of career title, it should be heading, because it is our heading. Heading, heading 1 dot heading -1. And we save it as a global. So then we open it up, and for the font size, we're going to use, when you press this button, you are able, this one, to use predefined ones from the on the Greenshift theme. And when you click one, you will see changes happening. So that's pretty nice. And afterwards, we want to add the description. So Control-Alt-Y. And then we search for our font's text. And we put in another dynamic data post. From the current one, we want to be careers. And now we want to pull in the excerpt. So pull in excerpt. There we go. Again, with the contents. I don't know why it does this, but it feels like it's doing it. Then we add afterwards, we add a button that should be connected to the apply button. So we can just put in there apply. And do we have something for that? No, we don't have a class. And afterwards, we would like to have these kinds of cards. So we add in, I think this would be a tag dash. So what we can use is a container for this. I think that would be the best. And then we first put in advanced text, and then we duplicate this one. So this will be 4,000. This will be salary per month. And I guess this one needs to be bigger. So now we can say to have, we can use career title for this, I guess. Let's make it a different one. This will be card dash value. And we add in the card value the size we would like to have. We switch on the quick set options and do some kind of subheading, make it bold. And this one can be, I guess, text small. Yes, that looks good. And then for our card, we will say, I don't know what this is called. Should those be called card? Let's call them career cards. Career card. By lack of naming them. And it needs to have a border. And the border needs to be rounded. And we want it to be 1 pixel. Then of a grayish color. Can use this one. Looks good enough. And then we duplicate it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And then we can fill the data of the cards. So we enable dynamic data. And from the custom, I think it's a taxonomy value, right? Yes, the taxonomy value from the current careers. We will add in salary. From this one, we will add a dynamic data from the taxonomy. And as you can see, it's really easy just to find out which one you would need. Only thing you need to remember is that you need to press the database icon to open up the Dropbox for the taxonomy, and will pre-populate it for you. So that's really nice. Very smooth experience, if you ask me. Hours per week. The next one will be location. So again, adding in dynamic data, taxonomy value of current. You can do either in the side panel or in the main design. And add in location. Oh, I was afraid that it wouldn't load. There we have our location. So type in location. And here we have some kind of education kind of thing. I don't think we've added that in our dynamic data. So current careers, taxonomy, company education. We did add it. Let's put it in there as well. Education. So now we have the 4 cards in, and what we can do is select them all and group them together in a container. And within the container, we'll be using a grid, like this option the most. And what we can do is that we set a very nice template for it. So the first section will be auto, because that is the vertical ones and it can be automatically created. I don't mind if it's bigger or smaller. And then we can go with forward dash, and then we do the horizontal ones. And then we can state it will be a repeat, or maybe it's just 4. Yeah, repeat. But then we need to adjust it every time. It would be nice if there's a max for that as well, for the first value. So we can do autofill, and then we have a min max value, which sets the minimum and maximum of the grid size. And then we can go for something like 300 rem times 60 is a lot, so maybe this can be smaller, like 20. And for the other one, it will be 1 of R. So as you can see, maybe this can be smaller. It will automatically populate from left to right. And if it shrinks down, cards will shrink down as well. And if it goes larger, the content will jump appropriately without needing too much of media queries. So that's why I like this version a lot. But it would be nice if we can set some kind of other things, but I don't know how to fix it. And the other things will be that this at least, and the maximum will have this width. So instead of 1 FR, perhaps we can set this to 20 rem. And now we can just play around a little bit with the values we like. 10, 15 rem. That's how it looks like. It's okay. And then we can set up spacing. 2 rem and 2 rem. A little bit too much. Even this could be too much. So change the spacing to half. I don't see that a half works. Rem. And also think that we need to save our styles, because that's something we didn't do. Card value. We also need to save heading 1. This one doesn't have any styles. Then suddenly it loses sometimes these styles because it needs to be saved in the database. But if we save the page and refresh it, all these styles are in there without any issue. I'm very curious if people from other platforms are also watching. But I don't know if the chat allows me to show those. See that I am live on Twitch, by the way, as well. So there's also one viewer, and that would most likely be me. So hi me. But I digress. Oh, it should have saved the changes. Didn't. Oh, that's too bad. Let's redo it again. 1 pixel, light grayish. Save it. The card value is saved. Now we can view the site. So the classes are saved to the database and should be reflected on our web page. Because we were in the template, it doesn't show the template at all. So let's go to careers. And then open up a career. And look at that. some of the stylings is in there and the other ones are not. So this is also one of the reasons why I want to try out bricks, because this just gets me. It gets right under the skin. And it feels like bricks has that solved, so I hope that is the case. Let's see. Make this one bold. Save again. Where does it get now the value? Because we didn't set anything here. There's also some spacing suddenly appearing that we didn't set. And the content is fine. So there we are. Have a look. And refresh the page. Hi, one viewer. How are you doing? I hope you're doing fine this fine evening. And this one keeps going upwards. My mic is too light, so it doesn't stay put. Let's see if I do this, that will stay. As you can see, we're getting there. So we'll be changing up the card value. No, we will be changing the card design. We need a little bit of spacing. We can add a rem spacing. No, it doesn't need to be all around. I think half a rem is nice. We set up. No, we didn't. .75 works better for smaller spacings, if you ask me. Then we add also 0.5 and 0.75. So now we have our spacing in there. Let me get a message real quick. Let's add some spacing in here as well. See, something like 1 rem. This should be fine. Refresh the page. There we go. See, we didn't save our classes, so we need to go into our cards again. And now everything gets lost again. So also the spacing, so that's nice. 0.5. It's just user error, but it's annoying that the error happens. So we need to save here before it saves, and then we can click save here. And then it saves the page, and we need to wait till this is loaded, until it loads into our database. So that's a little bit of a pickle. Let's see. I don't know how this works. It doesn't show up in my social stream. Let's refresh the page. And there we go. You can see it works, so that's nice. Now, I don't like that. I don't like this text over here. Oh, this text over here. This text over here, I don't like it. It needs to be a little bit less. I think the cutoff size will be there, then will look better. So let's see if we can change that in here as well. So we can change the size of this section. We can change the max width. and we change it to CH. That's how I usually like to do it. And most of the time, something like 80ch works. We need to also look at the container because I don't think this looks nice. So the maximum width of that container should be the size of this container, including the gap between them. So we look at the card and we set a spacing of half and roundness of that one. Then we set the size of this one as well. Or did I put it in here? Oh, it was in here, right? 50 pixels. So this can be on idea because it's for this section only, and we're not going to reuse it. At least that's not my planning. So we're going to change the size for this one as well. The maximum value will be 50 rem. So we can change the width, maximum value of 30 rem, and then we need to include our gaps as well. And it was 1 rem per side. So that's 2 rem. Oh, it's 1 rem. In total, half rem. So if we save now, this looks a little bit better again. And that's how we design our pages. See that we didn't do a good job of changing this one. 80 characters. Would it be 60? Maybe that works. And also some padding could help. Now I don't like I need to set the value every time to REM. So what we're going to do is go back to our WordPress dashboard and close all the other stuff. Go into our Greenshift, and this is what I really like about Greenshift. Then you go to settings, and inside interface, you can change the default unit of measurement. And that is really, really handy. So we go to interface, and as you can see, there's a default. See, why doesn't it work? Oh, it does work. You can see there's a default unit of measurement right there. And if we change that one, you can set any type of default units of measurements. I want it to be REM, of course. Then we hit save. And then the settings will be saved in the database. And if we go into our site editor again, we can change the Korea singled item. That's really nice that it goes there. I didn't expect that actually. And if we open up the section, now we have by default REM measurements. So that's really nice. And let's add half there and half there. So there's a little bit spacing between the top and bottom. And that looks great. I'm also missing the navigation in here. So because this is the template, we needed to add it ourselves. So what we do is add before our row, we pull in a page title area. No, it's called a menu or a heading header. There's our header. So also nice that's in there. Makes it feel like a more complete page, if you ask me. And there we have our default values in there as well. And then we can add in our page content. So we will add page content in here. So here we have content. And we'll add a content block. And because we might want to align things differently in our content block, we can use the inner blocks, use content width to change the value. And then we may hit save. And refresh our front, our website. You will see that there is our content, and that's nice. I only noticed that I placed it in a place that isn't good because it needs to be there. So let's change this real quick, refresh it. And now it's in there. Now I see that there's also some padding going on, also margin. Let's have a look with the inspector. Inspector. I also would like to have some kind of music. Hey brother, how are you doing? Nice of you to join. Is it hot there as well? Very hot in here at least. I was showing in the beginning of the live stream that it's now 31 degrees Celsius. In the attic, even hotter than outside, and I've cracked open a window and it doesn't work. Well, it doesn't cool as much. It is what it is. Let's open up our favorite. I'm doing. It's I guess you mean I'm dying. And let's open up Lo-fi hip hop. And thank you for joining, by the way. That's really nice. I've now tried also to do multi-streaming using Twitch, X, and Facebook. So I will look in hindsight to see how it went and how it did go. I'm going to use announcement next time. No, I don't have a fan. Yeah, I we do have one somewhere in the attic, but I don't want to put it on right now. So when people ask me how I'm doing, answer, I'm doing nice. It's a really nice one. So we're going over this section. We're going to recreate it. And looking at this one, and it has some padding in there. And I want to remove that one. So we're going to do that right now. Block padding. The padding of the blocks itself. And how do we change the padding of the section? That's awful. You can't remove it. So how does that work then? Because that needs to be in there. Can we add a group and then have that one to set that one, and then we turn that one off and put it inside the group. And can we change the padding of the group itself? Yes, we can, but it's not that much. So the one now it's 0, so that's good. And that one needs to stay like this because that looks nice. And refresh. And now it's nicely aligned. Or is it? I don't know. Let's see, right? Get my my ruler. And as we can see, there's still just a little... I really hate when that happens. So there's also a margin automatically added. Can we just remove all the spacing by default when I don't want it? Let's see. And that's the top and bottom. And there's no way of removing the left and right. This is a very bad experience. No margin. So there's an option for no margin. Right. Hey, John TLC. Nice to see you. It's hot in there as well. In Southampton, UK. It's also really toasty in here. It's nice that you join again, John. It's been a long time. How are you doing? Hot, obviously, but how hot? Hot, 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 or hot, 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 hot. Let's see. Now there's margin in there still, and I said I don't want any margin. So I don't want to do this. Yeah, it's toasty Europe. But it's nice for during the day. It's not good for live streams. During the day it's really good. My girls can go outside with a t-shirt and then a hamper. Just very, very lightweight. So it's nice. Do we need to break out our custom CSS? I really dislike doing that. I really do. So then we need a specific one for this page to remove the margins that has been added somewhere, and we can't change the margins. Here, there are margins left and right. The backyard over here is nice now, I can imagine. Yeah. Yeah, it really is. And playing with water, it's also really awesome actually. About 30 Celsius. You are keeping well, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm trying to get by, right? And it's nice that you're getting by. I've shown this now a few times on live stream, and if you can see, it's also 31 degrees in the attic of my house, and outside it is even cooler actually. Let's have a look. Weather, and it's nice, cool 25 degrees. So yeah, it's what it is. It's part of it, and I'm actually done with this, but I can't get. Would like to get rid of the little margin, or we can just be lazy and add a tiny little margin in here, because it's easier to fix in Greenshift than try to solve it with custom CSS. It's gonna take a while. I guess we need to save up for an air conditioner or something. A mobile unit. Doesn't do anything actually. So we're almost done with this section, and that's nice. Yeah, that's actually basically it for this section, and that's what I had planned for today. But I won't like to upgrade this one, because as you guys perhaps missed, last week we tried to do the careers pages, and we tried to do the filtering using JetEngine, and we had all kinds of anomalies happening with the design changing when you do a filter. So a way to solve this is using a different kind of filter, was basically the solution. The music was like, so basically it means that we only can use these custom post types and meta fields and taxonomies from JetEngine, which I don't think is making JetEngine special, and certainly smart filters don't seem to work for that one. Yeah, the filtering part too. So and I asked the GrocoBlock team, how do we fix this, and they said we can't fix it. Basically, it's dependent on the theme you're using. It's dependent on the integration of all of those things. So I was like, all right, and I asked Igor from Greenshift, how do we fix this? What's one thing you could tell me that we can add? So that's been going on the back of the screen, and he said you need to use filter everything pro, and that should be that should fix everything. So I've bought it and I've installed it as well, but I couldn't add the license in there. So let's see what happens. So we go to our page, and we can just forget about using the filters from JetEngine, which is a very, very sad, because I would like to use the advanced feature JetEngine offers for our filtering. Yes, I just want to delete this and also the group. Because in the future I would like to filter the results based on the user's location. And that can't... But seeing that the Greenshift theme isn't supported for the JetEngine listings, it doesn't make sense to use that in JetEngine. So maybe in the future I will use something different than Greenshift to fix this. But yeah, that means basically that for these kinds of tutorials, we'll be using something else. And it is smart filter everything. And we need to start by adding a set. So let's do that. And we filter careers. So that will be our set. And we want to filter careers. And what is to filter? Career query, main query. I think that should be good enough, right? Then we can add a filter, and let's add in company. That's a new filter. The title is company. There doesn't the prefix would be nice, and this is the company, so there can be a drop down. Can it be a drop down with autocomplete? I don't know. It doesn't say anything about it. Do we have more options? The or selector. Yeah, fine. That's options. Then we have education. It automatically adds it. Education. And as I alluded to in the earlier stages of this live stream, I'm really saddened that it doesn't work. And I also have the feeling that the advertising on the smart filter itself is a little bit misleading in that case, because it says it supports Gutenberg. But it doesn't even support the Gutenberg query loop. So what does it support? It supports JetEngine blocks and listings only in specific themes. So that's what we figured out having contact with the support. So I'm a little bit disappointed. I get why they didn't add it, but for now, but I am disappointed that it isn't added or supported. Let's add education in there. Let's add location. So this is actually a pretty nice experience. It doesn't look pretty, but that's fine. Drop down as well, and we add a working week. Or then you can also add a drop down. I don't know if that's the best user experience. And then we also need a salary filter. And if I remember correctly, that should be all. Just a thought. Could you not get ChatGPT to write a plugin that will do the job for you? Yeah, but why would I spend the time that something that GPT would create, and you have to try to manage and upgrade it and to make it perfect? Because what I see from the developers I work with is that the output isn't the best, and if you have specific things, it doesn't work. I do like the idea. Maybe we can play around with it sometimes. And we have company, education, location, working week, as salary. Now we also won't like to filter on job title, so we need to add another one, and that's custom meta key. It is not a meta key. It's not a post date. Not a taxonomy numeric. Also not a custom thing. It's just the... So I can't filter everything, I guess. Let's remove this one. Hit publish. Looks like it's a page. Yeah. The geo filtering that I would like to add for better user experience, that people can say, all right, I want the maximum amount of this distance to travel to work and back. And for the Netherlands, that's like 30 minutes instead of a few hours in some countries. And quite possibly there could be several kinds of tiny plugins used with JetGPT, but I think it's very tedious to do. And I much rather spend money. This is $40. And it could help my client for the first version as well. And the next version, we could use a different kind of theme or solution to use to create the pages. Now it is supporting Blocksy, so we can see if we can use Blocksy and JetEngine and Greenshift, and perhaps it works fine as well. I don't think we need Blocksy Pro. And it's already 1/5 of the entire budget, so I don't think it's worth it to do the Pro version at least. Else I could say if you would like this, we need to or pay $69 a year or $199 for one license, and then he can make a decision. So that one's been added. Let's go to our careers. Let's add a filter. We're going to remove smart filters because I don't want to see that experience anymore. We have the plugins. Bye smart filters. Not that smart, I guess. And let's save this page, refresh. And I'm very curious how this works. Compatible with and other popular plugins. Supports Ajax. Filters. So how can we find the filter? JetEngine. Line C. Filter. Career. Careers company. Location. How do we get our filter in? I guess this is the thing when the licensing doesn't work and what to filter determines. I just want to filter the careers. Where to filter? Specify pages. I want to do it on the listings. Any. No WP queries. Determines what exactly the post list page should be. Matched. The post type query is found on the page. What? Now it doesn't for JetEngine listings, perhaps. So let's save this real quick. No, Blocksy is not FSC. That's true. The classic theme. Let's add query loop builder. So this one can be gone. And let's change this. Let's keep the design for now, because we can easily change it later on. And let's add a custom wish list. ID meta box. Custom post type. And it's not a custom post type. Definitely not that one. Oh, here it is. No, it isn't. Here it is. And there we have our careers. So we save that one. And that's the downside that it, but JetEngine supports CrocoBlock, supports Bloxy. So that's why I'm thinking if we would like to use Greenshift, we need to use Bloxy for it to support our design decisions, and then we can use the rest of JetEngine as well. So that would be a consideration. But I think for the first version, using something like filters will be good enough. And if he decides, no, I don't want it, I really would wish that we can use geolocation to see if still no detected. And if he decides, all right, I really would like to use the geolocation to determine what the distance is, then we can change it as well. And then we can give at least the option, all right, then we need to use this, and this means that you have to pay more. He does get a refund for the filters, because I will be using that. That should be fine. But yeah, that's actually it for today. I only had planned for to create the careers page, the job listing page, and that one was done. So I'm happy with that one. And next week we're going to continue on going here on the filter. So it will be a part 2 or a part 3 as well, because this was just a little bit. But we're focusing on getting this one in. And it is also responsive, as you can see. Not the best. Maybe this would be one of our on tinier screens, but it looks pretty okay if you ask me. And that is what I had planned for today. Oh, sorry, I didn't share my screen. So it was creating the job listing page, and now I was trying to do the filters again. And we'll be continuing on the filters fix for next week. And perhaps we will be going away from JetEngine and just using ACPT. Or I think we're just using the new filters. And then we go continue on trying out bricks to see if it does work with JetEngine and what the limitations are. So maybe that's a thing to see. Yeah, bye. And thank you both for joining, John and Little Bro. And I will see you all next week, perhaps, or another time. But thank you for joining. Have a very nice evening and keep designing. And that